Hey guys, how's it going out there in the big wide world? I hope things are awesome for you guys out there. I hope things are going really, really well. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for dropping by. And if you're a regular viewer, appreciate you guys being here. Daily content from Tokyo, Japan. And things are a bit strange around here actually a little bit because things have bubbled with this coronavirus, just bubbling around at really low numbers. And then all of a sudden today there's a massive spike in Tokyo especially. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few days. Hopefully that's just a one-off and things will stay in that sort of low, safe area. But you know, we've got to be careful, got to be safe. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it is just that one-off, but we'll see what comes over the next few days. So stay tuned up for that. As I say, I do this daily every single day, so I'll tell you how that's going over the next few days. But that's not what we want to talk about. We're here to talk about shoes and sneakers. This is a sneaker channel. Today what we're looking at is this right here. I think what I'll put up is the thumbnail that I've made for these guys. When a set of shoes comes out, I like to make the thumbnail with a bit of each shoe, and I think I'm right in saying, I always get this wrong, but like black, what I call orange, and then white, but I bet it's the other way around because I always get that stuff wrong. But anyway, the three shoes all tied together in the thumbnail right there. And that's what we're looking at today, is three shoes. And the question in this video is whether or not they're superstars or not. They're not calling them the superstar, they're calling them the Hicho or something like that. And but there's so much that's superstar, and then there's so little that's superstar on these guys. And that's what we're going to do today, is take a look at them, find out just exactly how much superstar is in there, and then look at the detailing on each one and see how they differ with those three different colorways. So without further ado, let's get into this and have a look at a Yohji Yamamoto collaboration with Adidas. I mean, wow. That's always a big thing, and there's three of them. So without further ado, let's get into today's sneaker. This is the Tokyo 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo 23 Sneaker Channel des Mainichi, Yapsuru no de Mainichi Mite Kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And I'm doing this like one day in advance. It's 11 o'clock on Thursday, and this is Friday's video. And this is what happens. This is what life is like when you're doing this like on the trot daily without like space for even a single little mistake. The good side of that is, the plus side of that is when a shoe sort of just drops in your lap and you're like, hey, didn't see this one coming. Then you've got enough, you've got enough short time, you've got enough little time, there's little enough time for you to turn that into a video and say, boom, this shoe has just come out there, and we can have a look at it straight away. And that's what we're doing today with the Hichos. I think I said Hichis, the Hichos, whether it's a superstar or whether or not. Now when we say Yohji Yamamoto, or Y3 is usually how his shoes are branded, and these ones today are branded that way, and we'll get into that later. But when you say Yohji Yamamoto and the Adidas line, usually I think right here, this right here, that's the 4D printed outsole, 3D printed outsole, 4D line on the midsole, not the outsole. And usually that's what I would think of. You know, that's what I was expecting when I clicked on the link and said, you know, what is this Y3 shoe that's coming out from the Adidas line? And then when I saw this, I was kind of like, okay, not really feeling that or those, because like I said, there's three of them. But then when I dug into it and actually did that comparison with the superstars and these guys to see where they tie up and where they don't, it was actually a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be, especially the unique differences between each of the three colorways. And speaking of the superstars, 50 years of superstars is quite an amazing thing. Well done Adidas for getting that out there. Classic silhouette, hasn't changed much over the years, maybe a little bit of change on that shell toe there, and we'll get into that in today's video as well when we look at the toe box of these guys and see how that does mimic but doesn't quite match the superstar toe. And 50 years of that, celebrating that, so there's a lot of stuff going on, drops all over the the superstar line. The Pradas are probably the biggest one that I've seen so far, like the biggest brand or the biggest tie-up or the biggest collaboration. But Yohji Yamamoto, Japanese designer, big Japanese brand out here and all over the world as well, so it's great to see him tying it up with the Adidas line again. So without further ado, let's get into these three shoes and look at the details on there and talk about the differences and the similarities between the three different colorways. Now first and foremost, what I said at the start of this video, or what I said in the title of this video, was it was all about looking at this whether or not it's a superstar or not. And I was just like, this is totally a superstar. Look at that design, look at that structure, that simple sort of upper three-stripe branding down the side, what looks like a sort of shell toe on the front, even though it's not quite the right material for that. It's a classic sort of superstar silhouette. And then I looked at it from a different angle. I was like, that's not a superstar at all. That's totally a different thing. It's the Hicho, as they're calling it. So, you know, when you look at it from different ways, it's like, yeah, I definitely get the superstar tie-up. And then other ways, it's like, absolutely not. There's nothing there to tie these two together. So it's an interesting take on it. I guess that's why they're calling it the Hicho and not a superstar, is because it's enough difference on there for it to be a unique sneaker in its own right. Now, speaking of the three colorways, what is, you know, ties them together, what they all have together, is two particular things. One is that stacked midsole outsole unit, which you can see right here, very thick compared to what you'd see in a superstar or pretty much any regular Adidas, and that's stacked on all three. And I think I'm right in saying that the black silhouette, you've got this classic black colorway, and then you've got a classic white colorway, and then you've got what I'm calling orange, just because of that heel on the back there, whereas the other two are just a sort of solid classic black and classic white. The orange is sort of a mashup between the black and the whites, but then it has that special orange bit of branding on the heel there. And the blacks and the oranges have sail outsoles, whereas the whites have a solid white outsole and midsole. And it's that stacked unit on there that's obviously the major difference between a superstar and these guys. And then the second one is that toe box. I suppose the toe box is more like a Stan Smith than it would be like a superstar. And again, that's another difference between the two, that's big enough for it not to be called the superstar. So that's kind of the similarity across the shoes. The major kind of bit branding on there towards the heel, Y-3, right on the lateral side only, not on the medial side. And on the black ones it's white to give it the contrast, on the white ones it's black to give it the contrast, and then onto the orange ones it's black to give it the contrast with the white upper. I kind of wish they'd gone with the red to match the red or the orange of the heel on the Y-3 branding on that, you know, the third colorway there. And speaking of that third colorway there, it really gives me a big sort of feel for these guys right here. That's the official Run DMC superstars, because there are two Run DMC superstars that have come out this year, that official one, and then this right here, which was the deliberately laceless Run DMC superstar, because those guys, what they've got under the tongue is an elastic sort of strap that holds the shoe in place even if they don't have laces on there. They did come with laces though, and you could tie them up if you wanted to, but that wasn't officially Run DMC, even though Run DMC have been wearing laceless superstars for many, many years. This was the official Run DMC, and you can see that kind of branding, especially on the heel with that pop of color there. And if we flip that out to today's shoe, the third of the three colorways, you can see the similarities between the two there, especially around that heel with that pop of colour, which is the only pop of colour on any of the three colourways. Now, speaking of the three colours, the differences, let's stay with the whites. The white ones are very solid classic white. What I'll have up here right now is the lateral side, and what we'll do is we'll flip that out to the medial side. The only way you can tell it's the medial side is because it doesn't have that Y3 branding on the heel there. Very, very white sneaker. Let's jump over to the black ones and see what's going on there. It's almost like a carbon copy of the whites, but in the reverse colourway, so you're expecting, if I flip this out right now, we're on the lateral side, you can see the Y3 branding on there, and that tells you it's the lateral side. And you're expecting, if we flip it out, you'll get that all black colorway on the medial side. But bang, we flip it out, and what you've actually got on the medial side is that three stripe branding, three stripe white branding on the medial side, which is a unique sort of take on that side of the shoe. On the orange ones, or whatever we want to call that extra colorway, I think it's just the same, both sides, black three stripe branding on the medial and the lateral side. So that switch up that you get on the black is unique, whereas you don't get that on the white ones. What you get on all three, now I don't know how easy this is going to be for you guys to see out there. I'll have zoomed in on it as best I can, but the problem is you've got a solid, for example, white insole, and it's embossed, just like stamped with Y3 Yohji Yamamoto branding. So it's not stitched on there. It's not a different color. It's not stamped like a sticker or anything like that, or it's just sort of embossed, or I don't know how you describe that. But the problem with that is it's white on white, so it's very, very hard to see. But hopefully what you're able to see here is, like I said, on that insole, that Y-3 Yohji Yamamoto branding on the inside of these guys that give it that extra little bit of pop, which is a very, very cool feature again. And then the last thing to really do, I suppose, is to look at the outsole on these guys. Like I said already, it's two of them come with that sail sort of high stacked midsole outsole unit, and one with the white. So we'll start with the white guys here. here, and you can see the white outsole on that classic, what does look like a classic sort of Superstar outsole. And then if we switch that out, you can see a slight change in the sail colorway that comes with the other two, the blacks and the orange, if I can, like I say, if I can call it the orange colorway on there. So so it's a pretty clean sneaker all in all. We'll come back, I think I'll come back to the thumbnail because it has all three sneakers in one place, and you can kind of get a sense of the three sneakers and how they kind of match up or don't, as the case may be. And like I say, that Y3 branding on the lateral side is the one major pop of Yohji Yamamoto on these guys. So it's an interesting shoe, a really sort of unusual take on it. You know, why isn't it a Superstar? Why didn't they just celebrate 50 years of the Superstar with one of their main collaborators and just do it that way instead of having a sort of weird twist on it? So is it a Superstar, isn't it? I think that would have been a good thing to do. Or maybe take a Superstar upper and stick you know, a 4D outsole on there, Yohji Yamamoto-esque. That might have been a big thing to do as well. But for whatever reasons, they didn't go down that route. They went down their own route with these three. And like I said, because I'm doing these daily drops one day at a time, which I never used to do, I used to sort of, you know, stack the videos together. When a shoe like this comes out, I think it's due for July the 15th, and this video will go up on July the 10th, so in 5 days time. It means I can be responsive to that and get that up there and get a video to you guys as soon as this new information comes on the market, which is a very good thing. For now though, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Like I said, it's just after 11 o'clock on Thursday night, and I need to get this video all set and done because I'm back at work, which usually means getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, so I need this video done fast so I can get some sleep. So I'm going to head off and do that. Thank you guys for checking out the content. But you know what? I do this every single day. So that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.